All right, introverts, this video is for you. This is how we can start to get more comfortable going into social areas and spaces, especially by ourselves. Now, this is a process, okay? This can really feel uncomfortable, and that's the point. When we are introverted, a lot of times we are not comfortable in these group settings, in these social settings, whether it's a concert or party or even the locker room at the YMCA, right? When we're in these spaces, sometimes we're like nervous, is someone going to talk to me, whatever. This is what we can do to start feeling more relaxed in these situations. First off, I want you to accept that the process here is becoming more comfortable in the uncomfortable. And in order to do that, we kind of have to practice through repetition. We need to accept the fact that we need to start putting ourselves in these types of situations a little more frequently. And I know that is probably the last thing we want to hear, but it really is the truth. Even if we're going to, the local library and we just say something to the librarian, that is taking a step in the right direction. So first off, baby steps here. Let's start incredibly small. Let's go to a social place and talk to like one person. That is how we want to push this snowball off the mountain. And after we start doing that more and more, here is the hack. When we are going to our next social situation, I want you to have one person in mind, like prepare for one person, okay? Now I'll give you an example. If you're going to like a party, right? Prepare to talk to like one person. Try to notice somebody that is standing by themselves, even if they're waiting outside of the bathroom, right? Try to find somebody that is just by themselves and prepare to talk to that one person. Think of a question you could ask or think of a compliment that you can give. Chances are my go-to is shoes. Sometimes somebody is wearing some shoes that you can compliment or whatever, something that they're wearing on their clothes. That's usually a go-to. Now, that is usually a great starting place, but as we tend to go to these social things, we want to start to be able to develop a sort of formula. And this is sort of a formula that I can give you. Let's say you're going to a concert by yourself, okay? My formula here is when I go to a concert by myself, I usually want to get familiar with the space as quickly as possible. So normally when I go into the space, I normally want to go to something immediately. Sometimes it's the bathroom, but most of the time I love to go to the merch table. Or if you're like a drinker out there or whatever, you can go to the bar and just talk to like one of the employees or the people running the merch table. Sometimes I even go to the sound engineer and say what's up. But talking to somebody at the establishment that where you're going to is a great warm-up to get familiar with the space, to get out of your shell a little bit. And ultimately, like I said with starting small, set one goal for yourself. Set an attainable goal that you can, when you're walking home at the end of the night, mission accomplished from going into this space. And the last concert that I went to by myself, I did my warm-up, I was in the space, and I was feeling pretty good, but in my head, it was like, man, it would be great to meet like one person that I didn't know tonight. And as I'm having that thought, as I'm setting that goal, in walk two gorgeous girls. And I'm thinking, wow, those chicks are stunning. And in that moment, I made my goal to be like, I don't care what happens. This night will be a victory if I can just talk to one of those girls. And, throughout the course of the night, I was thinking about what should I say? What should I do? I had no ideas. Okay. And then later on that night, I went over to the merch table and they were actually standing close to the merch table. And I thought to myself, this is my chance. I went and I bought my shirt, and my big move was asking these chicks, hey, are you guys waiting for the bathroom? But in my head, it was just like mission accomplished. I said something to them and they were just like, no. And I was just kind of thinking about what I could do to carry on the conversation and nothing was coming to mind. But in that moment, I made myself known to them. And one of them turned to me and was looking at, I was wearing this leather jacket with buttons on it. And that invited them to ask me about my pins. And from that moment, a whole conversation started. So sometimes you don't need to think about having a really strong opening line. Sometimes it's just anything to get your foot in the door, all right? I had no game in that situation, but I said enough to warrant some kind of interaction. And again, a great hack is asking somebody a question or complimenting somebody. If you can get into that place, then all of a sudden you can start to feel an exchange coming on. And again, starting slow is everything. Another great goal or a small step you can take is I'm gonna go into this space and I am not going to open my phone. That was one goal I had very early on when I was starting to go to places by myself. Is I noticed that as soon as I take off my phone, it's like I'm shutting myself out from the space that I'm in. And the more I was on my phone, the less I felt inclined to talk to somebody else. So the more you can stay present in that environment, the more likely you are to even attract somebody that is going to talk to you. Sometimes when you're going to these spaces, it's less about making the effort to interact with somebody and even more about, feeling within yourself calm and comfortable, and that attracts people to you. That can tend to be magnetic. So that could be a great goal to set. No phone, talking to one person, having one interaction, and trying to snowball things from there. So that is my hack for you guys. When you're going to social settings, just set a really small goal, and then whatever transpires from there is a bonus. That is how you are going to start to feel more accomplished when you go out. Now, if you're an introverted person and a creative person or an artistic person, you definitely want to subscribe to this channel. And if this video resonated with you, give it a thumbs up. You are definitely going to like the last video I put out, which I'll put right up here. This is a video about being more confident in yourself as an introverted person. It is totally possible, and I break that down in this video. And also, if you're an introverted person, chances are you might have some trouble setting boundaries. And this is a powerful meditation that I created for introverted people, for empaths, and people that have trouble setting boundaries. This technique is called the frame technique, and it is all about keeping your energy in your frame. All right, I will see you in those next videos. Stay creative.